In this video, I would like to show the Tilt Web Tool data repository, which is a private repository that contains private data and wraps the public software that lives in Tilt Web Tool, which is something that I covered in an overview just before this video. It is similar in structure compared to the other repo that I showed before, in that it is structured as an R package, so there is a description file. The dependencies are very few, simply wraps the Tilt Web Tool package pretty much, so calls the source code from that public repository. And other than that, has a DB folder that hosts the real private data that we need to show to our users online. It is an arrow dataset split by groups, both in the company dataset as well as in the product dataset. So I'm going to close this file. Also show that, as I showed before, this is a containerized application. This Docker file creates the computing environment where this application is going to run. It starts from an image of the Docker project, moves the source code to a specific folder, installs the package pack, which is very smart, and then we use that package to install whatever is in this repository. So in this case, calling pack, what it's gonna do is gonna be installing the Tilt Web Tool package into this environment. Okay, it's exposing the port that is the port that Google Cloud Run likes, and then runs our script on the file app.r, which I'm gonna show next. So here is the app.r file. It is the file that effectively starts the application, starts the Shiny app, right? And I did show before something that looked very similar, but this one is a little different in a couple of important ways. So in this specific branch, which is the main branch, we are serving what we call the staging application. So an application that is available for us to inspect before we make it available for users. So in our workflow, we make any change on a pull request, for example, and then when we merge that pull request, that it's merged into main, and then immediately that will allow us to see what that change looks like in this staging application. And then we have to do something special, which I'm going to cover in a different video, to make that app released to users, right? But what we are doing here is, okay, this environment already has the Tilt Web Tool package installed. Actually, I realized that so this here installed. Yeah, that's right. So this installs every package in description, right? And because the description has Tilt Web Tool, this should be considered a duplication, right? So it's kind of trying to install it again. So in this case, actually I'm detecting here the potential to remove that line from here, but maybe I will choose not to, for something that you will see in the next video. Then I'm setting the options that I need to make sure that the port is the correct one, and then I'm running the app with the data on the DB folder in this specific repository. So if you remember, the previous video showed that we did this, we did the exact same call, but because this call was on a different repo, the DB folder was the one in that repo, which was the toy data. So here we are in the private data, so calling here DB will load the real data that lives in this repo. Right? So on the if you are in your development environment, you can source this file, and that will kind of reproduce what will happen on the service where we are actually hosting the app. So basically reproducing what will happen on Google Cloud Run. And now, because we are on the real app, these credentials should fail because this is not the toy app, as you can see here. Instead, we need to use the private credentials, which are Tilt for username, and that is no mystery. But then for the password, that's a private password, which I prefer to not expose here. So I'm gonna just paste it secretly, and here you see how the real password has, given me access to the real app. Here is the real data set. If I click here on go, we're gonna take a little bit because it's big data. Oh my god, Home Studio. I did not expect that. Surprising. I'm not gonna focus on debugging that right now because it's not the focus of the video, but let's go back to here. I'll probably need to work on this after this video. All right, so with this, I showed the structure of this package. Again, it's structured as an R package. It has a description file. It is a containerized application. It has a Docker file, and it's deployed through this app.r file. Actually, I think I found the problem here. Let's see. So I can see that my R console is not pointing to TilWeb2 data. It's pointing to my home directory. So let's try. So we leave this video in a happier note. Let's try restarting our studio. Now you see that my working directory is the correct one. So what happens if I now source this file? Let's see. Let's see. Remember that we need to use the real credentials. I think I have them. Have to get them again from my password manager. Let's copy them to the clipboard, paste them there. Okay. So the error was exposed when I tried to click on go here. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. So that was the issue. Apparently, for some weird reason, our studio changed to a different working directory. When I ran the app, it didn't find the data that it expected. Okay, so we end on a happy note. I don't need to debug anything here. So yeah, I think I probably don't need to kind of wrap more up. So this structure is an R package. It's a containerized application for which we have this Docker file, and it's deployed through this app.r file.